How many times do you get to make a first impression? And the obvious answer is only one. You only have one time to make a first impression. So when a patient comes to see us in our office, how many times do you get to meet them or interact with them before you see them? Have you ever thought about that? How many touch points does a patient have to make that first impression with your office? Now, not every patient is going to come to your office the same way. Some are going to come from referrals. Some are going to come from maybe advertisements. Some are going to come from the website. Some are going to come from word of mouth. Some are going to come, maybe they're referred by another doctor. Those are all first impressions. If the doctor that refers the patient to your office has a good first impression with that patient, says something really good about your practice, then they're going to probably come in there having, a really good first impression because they think that you're good because someone else told them that they're good. It's like if somebody's a foodie and really knows how to cook, and you go to their house and they serve great food, and they recommend the restaurant, I'm going to be inclined to go to that restaurant. Now, for me, I'm very, very aware of the importance of first impressions. I was once in Chicago a few years ago with my son, and we were looking for a place to eat. We didn't know where to go. We were just walking up and down the street. We had an appointment later that day. It was cold outside. We just wanted to go into the first restaurant. We walked into the restaurant, and my first impression, my blink, was like, I want to get out of here as quickly as possible. My son was like 22 years old. He goes, "What's wrong with this place, Dad?" I go, "You didn't see the carpet?" Patients will look at everything before they come to see you as a doctor. They may be aware of it, they may not be aware of it. Some of it may be subliminal. So what are all the different touch points that a patient can look at before they come and see you? Well, the first one's the referral. Is it from a friend? Is it from a doctor? Is it a strong one? Now, you really can't control that. I mean, you can control it by being really good at what you do and giving people a good experience, but that initial referral you can't control. You have no control really over that. What can you control? What are the other touch points? The website. Probably about 80% to 90% of your patients will look at your website before they come in. Is it a cookie cutter website? Is it personal? Does it make them feel good? When you look at a website, are you drawn to it or are you not? As someone who loves to go to restaurants, I'm always looking at websites of restaurants. If I'm in a new town, let's say Denver, and I'm looking around at restaurants, I could pretty much find great restaurants just by looking at the websites because it's very easy to do that. Doctors, sometimes they're a little bit harder if they find a good doctor on a website. But if I'm in a new town, I can look around the website and I can tell pretty quickly if this website is a cookie cutter website, if it's a phony website, if it's a marketing website, or if the person really has some gravitas. You could tell, well, they're really good at what they do. I could tell because they're posting pictures of their work. They're posting where they went to school, what courses they took, etc. So as a trained doctor, I know who's good from looking at the website. Not all patients are very good at that. Most patients are terrible at choosing doctors. Most of the people who come to see me have no idea if I'm good or not good at what I do. They're there because of a referral and because of all the different touch points that came in that have not a lot to do whether I'm a really good clinician or not. So what are other places that you have to make a first impression? What neighborhood are you in? Is your office in a good neighborhood? Is it easy to get access to? Does your building look good? Does the lawn look good? Is there any trash around the building? How about the driveway? Are there nice flowers along the left side of your driveway? Are there planters when they walk in? Are your windows clean? Do you have a system for cleaning your windows every 3 to 6 months, depending upon what season it is, so that when you look out, you can't even tell that there's a window there? How about the phone? Do you put people on hold? Do you put them on an infomercial on there? Do you say, "Hi, I'm sorry, I'll get right back to you," and put them on hold like that? One of the most annoying things for me to do is to call another doctor's office, because usually I don't get a live person pick it up, and if they do, they're too busy to talk to me, and they will say, "Please hold." Or the worst is when they say, "Please hold," and then I have to listen to an infomercial about how great that doctor is for 4.5 minutes, only to be told that they can't pick up the phone. It's pretty much an anti-sales technique that a lot of doctors use. Do you pick up your phone during lunch? You say, "We're closed for lunch. We'll call me back at 1 o'clock. Do you give great service on a telephone? Do you greet the patients by name when they walk in? If it's a new patient and they have an 11 o'clock appointment, do you greet them by name? They go, "You must be Johnny because you have an 11 o'clock appointment." People love to hear their name. People love that more than almost anything. Use it as an opportunity. Do you take a photograph of all your patients and put it into the computer? So when a patient comes for a hygiene appointment and you maybe never met that patient before, you go, "Well, hey, Sarah, my hygienist, is running 5 minutes late. Would you have a cup of coffee as we're waiting?" Do you look at all those opportunities to give them a positive first impression? First impressions only happen once. Now, I'll tell you a little story about myself. I've been teaching for 40 years. And I used to get bored teaching because I knew what I was talking about. And I played this game. It was a bad game. Don't ever play it. But I played a game, but I lose my audience in the morning. If I had a full day course, I used to teach that at NYU through the international program. I still do. And during the morning, oftentimes I would lose my audience, somewhat in purpose, and see if I can get them back in the afternoon. It's because I got a little bored. It was a very bad thing to do. And it was a very immature thing to do because I did it early in my career. And Ken Beecham, the Associate Dean of Education, says, Mike, why do you do that? That's so much work. He goes, why don't you just get them early and keep them? So you know what I do today? The first thing that I do when I meet a new group of students is I say to them, I am here for you. I'm going to give you guys a great day. Whatever you want to learn today, let me know. And I write it on a board. I learned that from Dennis Tarnow, and we can cover these topics. And then I say to them, my goal today is to be the gift to you. I go, what I'm talking about, I understand and I know. So it's not for me to talk. I don't have to show off and know the material. It's already in my computer. I go, what I'm here to do is to give you guys a phenomenally great experience. I do that to every new patient too. And what I say to every new patient when they walk in, I will greet them by name. I go, hello, Sarah. Nice to meet you. How can I help you? And then they may say, well, they may tell me what I can help them. They may start to cry, or they may get angry. And if they get very emotional, I know that they are very, very scared, and they're full of fear. And then I tell them this, and you might want to write this down and use this in your own practices. I go, Sarah, I can see that you're scared. You've probably had some bad experiences. I'm glad you're here. I can assure you, you are in the right place. Have a good day, everybody. And remember, continue to be the gift and make a good first impression.